Welcome to today's episode of the Deep Dive. We're going to start off by looking at some legendaries. We got a couple cards that are arcane based, and there might have been some speculation about the next set 14, being all arcane. They've mentioned that before, so we'll take a look at those. And then we'll finish it off with some more Majestics that are definitely affected by this weekend's spoilers. So let's jump into it. The first card we're looking at here today is Phantasmal Footsteps. Cold foil sitting at 180, rainbow foil sitting at 148. There's 18 cold foils on TCG Player, 9 rainbow foils. Past 7 days, it's jumped up $11 for obvious reasons. Enigma is coming, and I think there is a little bit of pressure, upward pressure there on the rainbow foil. And then also Prism is a mainstay in the meta now, right? So it's got a couple points of tension on this card. And one of the reasons why I did want to talk about this card is because I did this this week myself, is that I think this card has potential for a foil upgrade. We've talked about that a bit before on the buy list, but with the cold foil, rainbow foil being so close in price, you're looking at like a $30 upcharge to get into that cold foil right now. Monarch card, cold foil, you love your bling. So I think this, I would say kind of keep an eye on it. If you think you can flip your Phantasmal Footsteps, maybe you have a local or somebody that's looking to get into Illusionist and looking for this card, you can go out, grab yourself a rainbow cold foil right now, sell your your rainbow foil, and then, for a small upcharge. So I'm always looking for those kind of flips with these cards. It's unknown if Enigma will be using these. Doesn't look like she has too many Phantasm triggers just yet, maybe ward based completely, but always a good card used in Prism. And, we can see that from the price uptick. Let's jump down to the next one here. Vambrace of Determination. Price rainbow foil sitting at $19. Cold foil sitting at $50. Current listings are at $22 for the rainbow foil. Rainbow foil's jumped up $11 in the past week. Again, spoilers are pushing this, providing some upward pressure on this card right now, especially since, like we just mentioned, Enigma being ward based. This possibly has some play, not sure. The one thing we want to note about this card and the next card actually is that we can't forget that Outsiders pull rates were different than maybe every other set in Flesh and Blood, where the legendary rainbow foils were pretty common. If you opened Outsiders, you know what I mean. It was not uncommon to get a case with 2 rainbow foil legendaries, and you see that reflected in the price in a lot of these legendaries. And that's why, $20 up to $50, right? I think that's why you're seeing that discrepancy between the cold foil. This one, unlike the Footsteps, not in that range of like where I would consider it a foil upgrade just yet. But keep an eye on this card. If pressure keeps being applied to that rainbow foil and you get it within the $20 striking range or so to upgrade that foil, maybe it's worth looking at it. Okay, let's jump to the last legendary we're going to look at today. Flick Knives. Again, another outsider legendary. Rainbow foil sitting at $26.50. Cold foil sitting at $74.95. And you can see in the last 7 days, up $20, almost $21 there. Current listings, cold foil is at $22. It's got that higher price tag, so not as much sell-through rate. Rainbow foil sitting at $13. It is Ninja Assassin. You're hitting both. We've talked about this card in the past, especially since, once we saw the heroes from Mistveil. And, might be played in both, yet to be seen. But again, same principle applies here. They're not close enough for the foil upgrade. Coming from Outsiders, lots of rainbow foils out there, right? Gotta remember that, right? The pull rates are what they were, right? And you could get quite a bit of rainbow foils. So, and that's why, again, price difference there. quite high. But that cold foil is popping off. You know, at $26, if you, I think that's decent value, right? Obviously, I think, you know, it hasn't moved too much. I think it was like 50 cents to $1 change. I think people are buying them. It's just the price isn't changing. But that cold foil did jump up $20 this week because people are, you know, looking for that bling. All right, let's look at these hype cards. Ether Arc. It is coming out of Heavy Hitters expansion slot, price sitting at $9.99. Jumped up just over $6.50 over the last week. 8 total cards on TCG Player right now. Kano is also pushing this up, right? You know, he's pretty much a meta player at this point. You know, only 4 current listings, 8 total cards, like I mentioned. This one's interesting, right? Because I think there was maybe a little bit of speculation once we saw the Null set come out for Holland. You're like, oh, what's going on? Step 14, we don't know. James White on Twitter is kind of hinting at Runeblade's return, which, you know, Vincent got a nice card. Viserai is, you know, putting in some work at the moment as well. People like to prep it up, right? I do think this is a 3 of Kano, since it is a blue block 3, does 1 damage. So maybe that's what we're seeing there. Reminder, folks, expansion card slots are rare. They're hard to hit, and they disappear quickly. So that's really what I got to say on this one. Maybe you can wait till it floods back in. I don't think it's going to stay at 8 total cards on TCG Player, right? There's going to be some folks putting some cards back up for sale. So maybe just keep an eye on this one if you're just looking to collect Wizard right now. Okay, let's jump into the next card here. As I had mentioned, Viserai is putting in some work these days. A little bit of a bargain bin card compared to the rest of the cards we're looking at today. But it is Runic Reckoning. $3.62, jumps up about $1. There's only 6 listings on TCG Play right now, so somewhat thin inventory on this card. This card is very good. And, you know, I think Viz being kind of a meta player and being a very fun hero helps this card out a bit. And I think there, you know, again, going back to the speculation, what is set 14? James White dropping a hint. I saw it. We all saw it, James, that Runeblade's coming back at $3.50. Pick these cards up now, especially if you're interested in Runeblades. I always like to, little shout out to my Runeblade guys out there. I always like to sneak one into the episodes. All right, let's jump down to the next card. All right, Construct the Nitro Mechanoid. Ooh, man, we got a spoiler for Max, huh? Supercell is looking great, and the market responded. Rainbow Foil, $42 now, plus $17 in the past 7 days. Cold Foil, sitting at $45. Now, if you're a grinder, get out there and grind that set. You can upgrade right now for almost nothing if you can flip those Rainbow Foils into Cold Foils. They're sitting very close on price. Current listings on TCG Player, Rainbow Foils at 8, Cold Foils at 7. So very thin. Dynasty was a while ago. No one's really opening Dynasty too much, to be honest. Cards kind of rare. So keep an eye on that. $17. Man, she's moving. And Supercell was a great card. I am not surprised by this card moving up. All right, next card up on the hype train for spoiler season / weekend. Phantomtid Maw. Sitting at $25. Only 6 listings on TCG Player. Up $14 in the last week. It's moving. Especially since, you know, we got the weapon for Enigma, right? That we know she's ward-based. Phantomtid Maw all of a sudden makes a lot more sense. People went out and grabbed them. Thing to note on this, and if you've watched my previous episodes, we've talked about this. Evo, Bright Lights, expansion slot. These cards seem to be like drying up very quickly. You know, there's a lot of those cards in Bright Lights where they don't have 10 listings. This is one of them, right? And that's why you see these huge price jumps. I've been kind of paying attention and will be continue to pay attention. Not a lot of flood back in on this card either. So $25. Yeah, she's pricey. Really can't say. If you got a couple, sell maybe. If you got a couple extra, buying them right now is, you know, buyer beware on this guy. All right, the last card on the episode. Shimmers of Silver, same thing. Obviously, you know, +1 counters with Enigma is very good now that we've seen her weapon. This card bumped up to $23.99, jumped $14.50 in the last week. Current 20 listings. You know, that's important to note on this card, right? I think we're, you know, keep an eye on it. I think, you know, at 20 listings, you know, with multiple quantities in those listings, this price will, or well, I can't say will, but it should fall. You know, it could fall, should fall. I don't want to put any guarantees out there, but I could see it falling back down a bit, and maybe that's when you can pick them up. But same thing here. Get the, if you have a couple extra, you know, might want to sell them now. I think sell at the top is always the goal. And yeah, just something to pay attention to. Spoiler season has been going off like crazy. You know, we saw, you know, 7 out of the 8 cards that we looked at today plus $10 or more over the last week, which is just crazy. FAB singles are like to the moon. Happens every spoiler season, but this one feels a little bit different since there are so many viable heroes right now. We are blasting off, folks. And the last thing I want to say in the episode is I am a Findel's Collection partner. As you can see down there at the bottom, first month free, use the code TCGTED. Get yourself access to all the tools that I use to make these videos, and keep track of your collection, the worth, you know, all that value, everything. Look at eBay last solds, TCG player integration fully. It's really a great website, and it's a great tool for me to put together these videos. Until next time, peace.